All right. Let's turn that down. Oh, good afternoon. Happy Monday. How's everybody doing? Hey, Krista, welcome in. Yes, I'm actually painting today. You can stick around. I hope you're doing well today. I didn't fully clean everything up. Let me move this out of the way. Get this up. Oh man, I will start out by saying that I am very tired, so I will try to go as long as I can today, but whenever I start running out of steam, I'm gonna just be like, all right, let's stop on ahead. Last night for work, I had to stay up pretty late. It was not a normal work day, but I had stuff to do for upgrades and all that. It just kept me up for hours last night, so I'm just running low on energy. Last Monday, I did this Apple logo. I cut it out in the interim. So it's not quite so bad anymore. It was on a very ripply paper, but this kind of helped to at least make it somewhat presentable. So I've got it off to the side over here. Yeah, I'm glad you're doing okay. Excellent. It's a Monday. It's a good Monday. We're gonna be fine. Yeah. So I made this apple. I had plans of doing like an actual like 3D actual proper like apple, but didn't get around to it. So I'm gonna try to get to that today. Maybe we'll see. But I got a couple things I want to do. And I need to get right to it, or we're not going to get there, especially with if I'm going to be doing reduced time today for anything. So let me do this. Let me arrange what I've got. I've got this piece cut out from the larger sheet from last time. I'm going to put it to the side. I have a larger sheet. I'm also going to put that to the side for now. I'm going to focus on a small one. So I think what I want to do, I'm going to very quickly and very roughly make myself a little very quick sample color wheel so that I can use it to kind of judge opposites off of. Because I don't really have a good proper one. I tried one, I didn't like it. So I'm just going to throw a very, very quick and sloppy one together. I mean, really, really quick. So let me do that. Let me activate the pipe. I'm just going to use Hansa Yellow Light, Clean Rose, and Phthalo Blue for that. So I may adjust when it comes time to do Apple objects. Assuming we even get to Apple objects today, I might just do the color. I was thinking what I might do is do this super clicky ass color wheel. Then I'll use one of the other sheets and do spheres and just kind of use the colors and experiment with what I want to use for an apple. To do the what type of blue type shade I want to do for the shadow portion, what I want to do for the highlights, and then what's going to be my red for like a red apple. And just experiment with those on just circles, just spheres, until I get something I'm kind of satisfied with. And then we can try playing around with an apple. We may even end up using our fun little misshapen Apple logo friend to color that in like an apple and just forget the cutout and just play with it. So we'll see. I'm going to do my best to get that done. Let me snag some coffee really quick. Oh, coffee. It's so good. So good. Let me actually turn this light over here on because it might be useful. If I can even hit the button, I can do this. There we go. That's not bad. All right. This might be a little big. Let me at least get the next size down just in case and have that at the ready. But yeah, I'm not even going to draw it out. I'm just going to very loosely color wheel. Hey, Goddess, welcome in. How are you doing? I saw the end of your streaming earlier. I was working late last night. I was exhausted. And then today I was working and just kind of just zoning out while on the clock. And my other half had you on our TV. And I was too tired. I didn't even feel like getting in and saying anything. I'm so sorry. So today also my stream, I'm doing it to commit, but I may end up only on for a little bit. So I'm going to do as much as I can while I've got energy reserves to burn. And then I'm just going to crash. I have no choice in the matter. It's just going to be a very dead day for me, I think. But I'm going to try. So what I'm going to do first, really quick, is I'm just going to do a stupid basic color wheel for myself using 3 colors. I'm going to use Hansa Yellow Light, which is in this well. I'm gonna use Quinn Rose, which is in this one, and then Phthalo Blue Green Shade over here. I'm just gonna try to make a little basic color wheel using that. Nothing too crazy. And then we're gonna try doing some very simple spheres with maybe these three colors. Maybe we'll try other ones that are in the same kind of area to do like some circles, some spheres, right? And we'll do like some shaded blue color in like the bottom right area, maybe really dark on the edge, fainter as we go through the middle. Add some yellow, leave like a little sparkly white spot where we don't do anything. And we'll let that dry completely. And then we can start hitting it with layers of the red and just try to see how that looks. And it's just total experiment. I've seen people do it online. It seems to work for them, but they know what they're doing and they're filming it and they're not showing their mistakes. And I show everything, even all my terrible mistakes. And I need to learn to live with the fact that that's the reality. You know, what I do when I make mistakes and when I do successes, great, things happen. But I'm not cutting them out. I'm not trimming 2 hours down to 30 seconds of joy for someone to consume. This is who I am. So I'm gonna do my best. Yeah, when I look at it, this might be a little too big. So let me switch to this one. I'll keep this up just in case. And I'm not even gonna sketch a wheel. I'm literally just gonna do like 3 different corners, and we'll just do some of the midtones in the middle or the blends in between, just live with it. No, sorry, and thank you, mate of bear. Aw, you're welcome. I'm so glad that you're enjoying your survival games. You're so good at them. I don't have the patience for them. Like I try sometimes. Sometimes I do. Like I can't call it a survival game really, but I've been playing Pokopia, the new Pokemon game. That's kind of like a blend of Animal Crossing and Pokemon, and I guess you could say it's kind of like Minecraft in a way as well. So that's been fun. I've enjoyed it. Let's do this. And grab some yellow. And I'm just gonna put some on pure, just straight up in the top part. Get it really rich. And then I will thin it out as it gets toward the middle. Let's make this be our rinse container. All right. I mean, it's day 52. I think I saw that in your chat. Someone mentioned that. Right, right as soon as I got offline from work at 3, you were finishing. So like right after you went offline, like I went over and I scrolled up a bit and I glanced at your chat and I think I saw that you got really far. That's really amazing. Do I have Netflix? Not right now. No, we have it turned off. I think the only streaming service we have on other than Amazon because we pay for Prime is Disney Plus. And the Disney Plus sub that we've got comes with our Hulu subscription. And like I forget whatever else it comes with. So it's got a nice little blend of multiple things, right? So that's what we're living on right now is that. What's on Netflix? All right, I'm gonna hit this side over here with our Quinn Rose. Make sure it's nice and dark on the outer part. All right, I'm gonna thin some of that out and put some a little bit more in the middle. The more. Okay. And let's do some Phthalo Blue. BTS comeback concert, yeah. You're super excited. I have not seen any of that. Like I am total loser when it comes to knowledge about any of that. I'm living vicariously through you. Your joy is enough. Is it like new today or just like really close to new? You have at 4 a.m. to watch it. I love BTS. That's wonderful. I'm happy for you. I have some sad news. I literally just found out a few minutes ago about something. Star Trek Academy got canceled. It's kind of bummed by that. And it's a fairly decent show. It's not bad, but people review bomb the hell out of it and just hate it. It's got a second season coming at least, so that's coming. But yeah, it got review bombed pretty bad, and I don't know if that was the reason or whatever it might be, or the merger that happened, or Paramount got taken over or whatever. So whatever it is, it was enough to undo Star Trek shows. Strange New Worlds was already ending and has already been filmed. The last season, and there's 2 seasons of that coming, a full size 10 episode and a short 6 episode season. And then Strange New Worlds will be over. And Academy is gone after this second season. Thankfully, the first season just finished and they already had a full second season already finished filming. So, yeah. What can review on the Starfleet Academy Star Trek show? Yeah, I know, right? I mean, I'm not saying it was a great show, but it's one of those shows that just the first couple episodes, like any Star Trek, almost like any show, leave you scratching your head wondering where in the hell is this going to go? Why don't I feel for these people yet? And then they do the make you feel about the characters episodes, and they bring the Star Trek style episodes back. And it just by the end of the first season, it was really good. I'm not going to say as incredible as Voyager or as incredible as Strange New Worlds, but I would probably rank it fairly equal to Discovery in my book, like my personal taste. But it was good. Like it barely got a chance to grow. Like it literally finished its first season and it's already being canceled. I mean, they put no thought or desire into trying to keep it going. I don't know. I almost imagine they knew that the writing was on the wall and they rushed to get the second season fully filmed and paid for and covered before the cancellation news might happen, just so they could get at least the 2 seasons out. So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I love just how these 3 colors look. Just done by themselves look cool. Nice little triumvirate thing going on here. Very pretty colors. Let's try blending some of these. You did get to see the first episode on Apple TV and liked it a lot. I remember you said that you got to see it. It's a good show, and I'm sure like once it's in the mid times between this and the second season coming out, they'll probably release more of it on other platforms, so you'll be able to see it more, or you could just get it, or however you might get things. I shouldn't promote that. I'll try not to. All right, so let's get some of this. Hence, be a little light. That's right. And we're going to need some of that for the blue. So I'll put some over here as well. Okay. Twist that out. I mean, the BTS concert outfits are stellar. Are they? See, I need to watch something of the beginning of it to understand what it is and get any sort of draw or affection for it. Because without that, I'm just not going to feel it. Right. I need an opportunity to be able to bear witness to its glory, right? That is very red, even though it doesn't really look it. So let's put some of that over here. Okay, let's add a little bit more yellow. Okay, and we'll get that in the middle. Okay, and thin that a little bit. And let's bring it to the middle. All right, and let's bring a little more yellow. And I need more than that. Clips over YouTube. Yeah, that's probably what I have to end up doing so I can get my taste buds wet. Right. Okay. The stage. Why I'm not going to be able to try to pronounce that. Guangaman. Do you pronounce the first G? Is it a silent one? Do you pronounce it? Guangaman. Guangaman. We're gonna go with it. Square was framed by. Okay, you're just going off the rails now. I'm not gonna be able to pronounce that. Is it Korean? Of course, it's Korean. Gyeongbokgung. Gyeongbokgung. We're going with it. Okay, that was the location because they're BTS and they can. Interesting. Me because they're so well known and so well loved. I had no idea how to pronounce it. I guess you went to online to to copy and paste it, or you already know how to spell it. That's amazing. BTS is the Asia boy band, right? Right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's like K-pop. Let's get some of our phthalo blue. I'm gonna put it over here, and let's get a little yellow mixed in. Get ourselves a very, very dark, the dark green. Okay, I'm gonna thin it a tiny bit, and we're gonna spread it this way. And more. Okay, and let's add more yellow. Estimated over 100,000 theater, guessing live. Plus over 300 million tuned in to the live concert on Netflix. Jeez. #1 band worldwide from South Korea. That is amazing. How many? I've seen a lot of these bands have a ton of people. How many members do they have, or is it fluctuating all the time? 7 members. Wow, that is crazy. I don't have enough liquid going on there. It's not going to be enough. No, let me add more. Okay, I need more yellow. Remember when 5 members used to be a lot for a band, or 4? Something like Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, that era. Okay. Album release Saturday went to the top of the charts in 88 countries. They have a lot of clout. That is amazing. First, good for them. Second, I mean, I hope it lasts, you know? Fame can last a long time or it can be super short-lived. I know they've been around for a while already, but I hope that they keep it going. When I was a kid, it was Def Leppard and AC/DC. Yeah. For me, yeah, I mean, it depends on what you like. They've been around 10 years. Jeez, 10 years. That's crazy. And still have that kind of fame after 10 years? Did they start out incredibly famous from the beginning, or did it like nothing, 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 and then boom, like 5 years ago or something like that, you know? Did something make them blow up really big? Just their music, or did they do, you know what I mean? Did they do like stuff for a movie or something that they were recognized for? Just talent. That's excellent. All right, let's get these meeting in the middle. All right, let's get something violet going on here. And let's thin it out a bit. Yeah, I mean, I guess what you liked when you were growing up. For me, it was, gay awakening in a way, the way they call it. But boy bands, some of them, anyway, were really good. Remember, like 90 Degrees. Like hardly anybody, well, people know them. They were huge in the beginning, but I was thinking something happened with one, and they waited for him. Lots of live events with fans. Wow, they grew up on camera. Talent and K-pop industry savvy. Wow. I wonder, was it them or people pushing them that they're just exhausted? I see so much about bands like that where they're just forced into it by their I don't say ringleaders, but you know what I mean. Here we go. Ooh, excuse me. I might be yawning a lot. Forgive me. Thankfully, all the busyness that I did overnight was worth it. Everything worked great, and there was not a single complaint or problem this morning from the upgrade, so that's good. I was an adult before a boy band came out. I don't know. Would you say like the Beatles was a boy band in reality? The Monkees, you know, like they're basically the same idea. And trust me, those videos you see of the fans going nuts over them makes them look exactly the same. All right, let's go ahead and go the more blue route. BTS, this was their comeback concert for the first time since they all got back from 2 years of military service. So I heard that. So all the members have now done their military service. They've come back, and this was their comeback concert and album release. Excellent. I mean, no, not the way that these ones are. I mean, now there's even more widespread coverage online everywhere, for places, for bands like this to exist and be recognized and reclipped and reshared. Whereas, other bands, you got a little bit of TV, like news coverage, and then just albums. And that's all you could know about them. And I think people just tend to get a lot more fanatical these days about some stuff. Yeah, this one looks really nice. That one's not quite as red as it could have stood to be, but it's not bad. All right. Which is why I was so highly anticipated. I mean, I had 4 million pre-sale copies over, but that is ridiculous. I think the difference is that they were not huge and grew up on stage. Yeah. Back then was so different. My first concert was Aerosmith. Yeah. And the tickets cost $5.95. You can't even get a fucking taco from Taco Bell for $5.95 today. Pardon my French. At least it feels like that. I have no idea how much a taco is anymore. We haven't been to Taco Bell for ages because I'm just honestly, I've been kind of infuriated, one, with the cost, and two, because they got rid of the taco salad. That was like my favorite thing to get from there. After they got rid of that, I'm like, why fucking bother anymore? Why do I care? Like I used to work at Taco Bell way back. And like my favorite thing was I worked there when they just introduced chalupas in the gorditas. And they had 3 flavors: Supreme, Santa Fe, and Baja, and they got rid of Santa Fe, and then not too long after that, they got rid of Baja, now you can only get Supreme, and it's like, they got rid of the flavor and are charging 5 times as much for everything. And it's just I don't know. I mean, everything's gotten more expensive, so I can say that. It's not even, but it's cute. I like it. It's a nice little fakey color wheel. At least enough for me to see what's opposite from each other, right? So that works. I like it. The Jackson 5 might have been the closest. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I think there's I guess I can't call them boy bands, the ones I was thinking about to go into, but oh, yeah, Jackson 5. The Osmonds? Yeah, yeah, yeah. They're out there. I mean, it was their version of that. It was before they had all the poppy, music that boy bands do, right? You don't think of BTS as a boy band personally? Really? I can't say anything because, again, I don't know their music, so I can't say anything. Literally anything. Not one song have I heard that I would recognize as them unless someone said, "Hey, you know that song you've been bopping along to that so and so plays on our stream? That's BTS." That's what it would take for me to recognize them, which is probably the only way I would know them. So I just need to go listen to them. That's all. I just need to pay attention to it and bear witness, and then I'll have a whole new obsession. Thank you, goddess. Uh, oh my god, the new album was so good. Okay, so what would you suggest? If I were to start out fresh and new, if you were to introduce it to me as something I have never seen nor heard, what would your first suggestion of something see? I'm not even finished saying it, and you're already like on board with what to listen to. Listen to Body to Body. Is that a song or an album? Then Swim. Like, let's find out. Are these albums or I'm guessing they're singles. Those are songs on the new album named Error Ring, and I'm guessing we're calling it Error Ring. Okay. Well, I mean, I'm already sold on Korean food, so the music can't be half bad. So I think we'll give it a shot, and you may find out that I am suddenly listening to everything of theirs. We'll find out. Oh, let me move that out of the way. Oh yeah, since last time I painted, I moved my computer. It's no longer on a moving cart underneath my feet. It's now to the left underneath my computer desk. So I've got more leg room now, which is nice. It's right in the middle of my back. Oh, there we go. Let's twist to my chair to take care of that. All right, let's get Vince over here and we can plan what we're gonna do next. The whole album is freaking awesome. Well, excellent. It's always nice when a band that you love comes out with a new album and you're just like, it's fire, 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 fire. Like every track, fire, just perfect all the way through. It's a very rare thing to get a album full of bangers, right? And it doesn't happen often. So it's great that this one is. And it's amazing how much effort goes into that. Like we don't realize, some people realize, but like finding out that like they'll make like 50 or 60 or 70 songs and they'll pick 8 to be what's on the album is just mind blowing to me that there's like so much that we never get to ever hear because it's just decided that it wasn't good. Like, how do they decide that? Do people that are in the know listen to it, make that decision, or do they Do they spot test them in places and don't tell anyone who it is and see what the reaction is? Like, I'm so curious. After airing, listen to the album Map of the Soul. Mm. So do they end up waiting for one of the band members? I think what Kata said was that they were in like military, like mandatory military time that they have to do as a citizen. So I'm guessing that's what it was. I have no knowledge. Um, let's see. So I think 1 second. Sorry, I wanted to mute. I don't want you guys to have to hear every time I clear my throat. Sometimes I just can't get to a mute button fast enough. Okay. This is a cute little splat, furried color wheel that came out really nicely. I'm actually very happy with that. Who says everything has to be perfectly within the lines? I like that. It's cute. All right. Yay, color wheel. Yeah. I'm gonna put a link in Discord from the best performances I've seen ever in my entire life. Video. I haven't seen it live, obviously, at one of I think the AMA or MMA, some Asian music awards. That, oh my god! I mean, it was basically a BTS concert, and the award shows there too. Wow. And yes, it was. They were all in the military. Yeah. That's wild. But I mean, I guess that's just how their country is. You are young, you've got a certain time frame, you have to be in the military, you do your time, you get out, you're done. Oh, that's excellent. Yay, color wheel. Yeah. So what am I gonna do now? Well, I think I'm gonna make some very basic circles, but I think I want to how big do I want the circles? I think bigger than the bottom of this. Do I have any round stuff that I can do? The trace around. Let me check my stuff really quick. 1 second. Oh, I think right away. I think this, yeah, it'll work. Like my cups that I use for when I do stars, I have a fairly clean run. The other one is like filled with acrylic white paint. But yeah, I could do the top of this upside down and just trace it a couple times. I've used this before for that. Let me do that. And I will do a very thin pen. All 7 did, yeah. It's mandatory in Korea for all men to have 2 years military service before they are 30. Suga, is that how you say it? Or do you say it like a black woman says suga? I imagine it's Suga. Was the only one who did not for some physical reason. He's had some surgeries and things. Suga. Oh, okay. Excellent. I'm really gonna have to listen to him. I don't know anything about them. I don't even know what BTS stands for. How's that? All right. How did I miss that? Let's do another one here. I'm just gonna do a bunch of circles so I can practice. Some might be okay, some might be garbage. We're just gonna do a bunch of circles and practice. And then if I have time and energy, we can try doing an actual apple or something close to it. So let's do another one down here, and then 2 more, and then we can practice. Like sugar. Oh, sugar. Okay. Oh, I was right. Unironically right. Things and okay. Translates to bulletproof Boy Scouts. Oh, that's funny. What are you gonna do in the circles? They were young when they started. I bet 10 years ago. God, 10 years ago they were young. So what are they like 26, 27 now? What am I going to do in the circles? This is a practice sheet. I am going to practice the colors that I want to use in an apple for doing underpainting. So I've seen a bunch of videos on Instagram that I really liked for how people do apples. I don't like how they present because they all do the same stupid thing I hate. Just like I don't I'm sure it's not just me. I'm sure there's people that love it and people that hate it, but I hate when people that do art do like seriously, they do this. They do they start the video and it's like sharing my art with people until I find my people. And they do that turn thing and like you don't get to see it right away. And then you get to watch them paint the thing. I hate that. Well, this one's also the one where they're like, they paint the thing. It's like, no, 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 don't do this. Do it like this instead. And then they show what you really wanted to see the process of them doing the tutorial, right? So what I saw that I liked is wow, oldest is 32, youngest is 27. It's just wild. Good for them. I like, I'm literally good for them. I mean, to be able to make it big in anything today seems like it would be good. I'm sure there's a lot of depressed, I don't want to do this anymore as well. So, I mean, they'll just push it until they can't anymore. No, I'm sorry. What I'm going to do in here is I'm going to do first color theory, which I never do because I need to learn it. Two, I'm going to try to do an underpainting, which also I've never done, so that I can try to learn what it looks like. Why is that? Why is it good? What is the purpose? I'm trying to do it so that I can learn to not have, if I'm going to paint an apple, I'm not going to just use red and then use a dark color to shadow it like I've been doing. Like I'd like to learn how to use the opposite color on the color wheel from the main object to try to get shadows built into it and try to use the like, I don't know what you call it when it's not opposite from it, but it's halfway across to do the highlight color. So like if I'm going to do a red apple, then the yellowish color or an orangish color could be the highlight, right? So that's why I'm going to try to practice on all of these circles. I'm going to start with the three colors that I did here, right? And I'm going to use the phthalo blue faintly to darkly to do like a shadow area. So like maybe across the middle here, I'll do it very faint and I'll do really dark around the edge and maybe I'll pull with water until it fades and then leave like a light space and then do like a yellow section, a light yellow to be able to do the highlight area, right? And then let it dry completely. And then I'm going to hit it with uh, the plain rose as my red for the apple to go through and just gently start glazing over it to try to like darken it up, right? So the reds should be untouched. It should be very bright. The highlight areas should be like a hint of a yellow. So it might go orange at first. And then the blue area is completely opposite from it. So the darker the blue is, it will push more toward a gray tone or a blackish tone, right? But I'm going to go over it with more layers after it dries to try to bring up more red uh, and just play. And because I've never done it before, I've just seen it and I need to practice it to know how to do it, right? So I might do potentially those same three colors for a couple of the circles. And then I can try different primaries or different groupings of colors to do the shadow, the highlights, and then the main apple color, because they're the green apples too. I should use this to figure out, well, across from green, it's orange, right? So, well, no, that would be red. Yeah. Okay, my color wheel has a flaw. I didn't really draw them across from each other properly, but yes, green and red, yellow and purple, orange and blue should be, right? Yes, that's right. So yeah, I get to try to learn how to use it properly. Yeah, when you put opposite colors, it causes a natural gray shadow. Exactly. And I have a habit of, I want to take it down off the wall to show you so bad, but it's a pain to put back up. Um, I can cheat. I can do this. Okay. So I have this, right? Focus. There we go. So that's my traditional go-to for doing an object. It's at an angle, sorry. For doing an object and then putting a shadow behind or under it is just to use like a bluish color, an indigo color, a black or gray color. But I'd like to be able to learn how to do that using color theory, right? So that's my goal to play with this. Yeah. Um, you're saying and thinking correctly. Thank you. Yay! I paid attention to the tutorial. Will I make it look like them first try? No. But we're gonna try it anyway. All right. So 1 second. Thank goodness for the mute button. That's all I gotta say. All right. I was reading what God said about millions of people all singing and dancing. So the difference is that it looks more natural. Yeah, exactly. Right. Like the world isn't made up of just like typically one pure color. Things blend together, and that's why they look so beautiful. Right. So that's what we're gonna try. And may even do it the wrong way in one, just so we can see like, don't do this because it's just hideous. Like I'm gonna show what I've done and it's ugly. Yeah, I keep this here. I need to clean that. All right. So let's see. So let's do. We're gonna do only Quinn Rose just to see. So I'm just gonna put some across the middle. And try to stay in the lines a little bit thing. I realize I could just play BTS right now, assuming they're in Apple Music, which I assume they are. I'd be foolish if they're not. It's just too dry. There's a pretty red. It's almost a magenta-ish kind of red. I guess cooler is the way we'd want to call it. Let me thin it out some more. Okay. It actually looks kind of like a really interesting planet. They say there isn't black in nature. Not sure I fully agree, but in most things in nature, no black. Seems cooler on screen. Oh, it's cool in person too. Thankfully, it's not just what you're saying. Let me see if it matches what I see. Yeah, at least on my main screen, it looks very much like how I'm seeing it. So this is very much a cooler red. So that in itself is a good reason to use, underpainting so I can get some good shadows in there. But the highlight part, I think, is going to really help make this look a little brighter and better. And clearly, this was just me throwing stuff on here. It doesn't look great because that one was just a experiment. So what does it look like if I use only the color? No, that one is. Oh, you're close. Yes, I'm sorry. It's Quinn Rose. Yes, Quinn Rose. All right. So let's and then I would make it even uglier by using like an indigo shadow. And I would cover up a shaded side with indigo to make a shadow, which isn't the worst thing in the world, I think. You'd want to do green since it's opposite. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, no, that makes sense because of what we have here. I'm curious what suggestion was that I saw online. I had something. Let's see. I guess that makes sense because it's cooler. It's more magenta in color. We want to push it away from blue. That makes sense. More green. So yeah, we can try that. We have 6 circles. Well, 5 circles now to try. So let's do this. So we'll do it in a couple ways because the whole point was to try a couple methods, right? So we'll stick with the Quinrose for the red for now, but we can try doing some other stuff. So let's try. So I've got phthalo green, which might work. Grab some. So let's try to do some along the edge. Try to keep it thin here and arc outward a little bit. Okay, and let's thin it a tiny bit. Okay, thin it some more. And thin it out completely to just water. Okay. And before I do anything else, I'm going to make that dry. You want to do green because it's opposite? Yes. I was just going with what you're talking about. Agreed. No, totally. I mean, I made this. I need to use it, right? So that's totally fine. Because truly the opposite of the blue would be a yellow or even like a light orange. So that totally makes sense. Okay. Let me dry this off. Okay. And let's look at a nice yellow, nice yellowish color, maybe more orange. One of my favorites that I like is that Aussie red gold, but it might be too orange, but I like it. So I figure we can try it. For me, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. This one. Yeah. I'm not going to need much of it, so I'm just going to put a little bit. And I need this to be light, so I'm going to thin it out right away. Even that might be too much. Okay. I should have left a light space in there. This is fine. Let's pull it back a little bit. All right. That works. Our Jello froze. Were you making Jello and you're freezing it to get it to set quicker? I don't know what my hubby did. Oh, he made Jello with love. That's what he did. I'll put you over here. Let's grab some more water. Starburst strawberry. I think I've seen that Jello before. All right. So I'm going to start faintly up here and try to be good about following my circle. And try to leave myself a little shiny spot. I mean, that already looks really cool. Yeah, that's already interesting. Let me zoom in for you guys. Let me grab my camera controls and get them open. And I think I can do this one. Yeah. Let's scoot that up a little bit for you so you can see it a little bit better. Yeah, that's actually really neat. That's quite enlightening. Just that one layer of very thin Quinn Rose on top of it. Okay. So dry this off, and we're going to hit it with another layer. Risky, hey, welcome in. We're playing with apple colors. I'm trying to use spheres without actually doing the shape of an apple, just kind of experiment with colors and layering. So this in the corner is was phthalo green, darker where it's going to be the most shadow, I'm guessing. And the top left over here is actually Aussie red gold, but just very thin. Aussie red gold is very orange, but when it's very light, it's more yellow. So I used it. And then after letting that dry, we put a very thin layer of this Quinn Rose over the top of it. I'm going to let it dry, and then I'm going to hit another layer of Quinn Rose over the top of the whole thing and just add a little more at a time. And we'll see how that comes out. And then the other circles are either to try the same idea again, to just repetition, right? Or try different colors that are similar to see what kind of color apple sphere we end up with. I'm learning color theory, tiny pieces at a time, itty bits. Hopefully the goal is this looks mostly red, but it's got some strong undertones of our underpainting present when we're done. So we're gonna see. We're gonna grab some more of the Quinn Rose, get it really wet, get a good puddle of it going over here. I think I want to go thin again, but not as thin as the first one. This Jello is like eating Italian ice. That could be a good thing. I've had frozen Jello before. It's different because like when the ice crystals form, it cuts through the flavoring part of it, and it can make it separate a bit. That's fine. I'm sure it's tasty regardless, right? All right. Let's go ahead and add some more Quinn Rose to the top of this. Try to get around my little light area. Nope, I already screwed up. That's fine. It's ice in my throat either way. I think that's fine. Especially imagine when it starts getting really hot out, unless it's already hot where you are. That having anything full or sweet is a good treat. Oops. Even if this doesn't come out exactly like I want, I'm liking doing this anyway. This is educational, and I'm kind of liking seeing the colors and the underpainting turn more red as I go. I'm really liking that. Okay. All right. I'm east of your state, so not hot. That's good. I'm glad. It's not very hot here right now either. It says it's 48 degrees outside right now. This morning there was ice on my shield when I went to work, so I mean that was very nice. Already a really pretty blend. I think we're gonna hit it a little harder with some red here in a minute. Not heavily. But it is nice seeing that the Quinn Rose getting on top of that phthalo green is definitely turning it a really nice gray shade. So it's shadowing it up really beautifully. Outside Spokane is about the same. Yeah. See, I've not spent a tremendous amount of time in Eastern Washington. We've not gone to Eastern Washington. We've gone along the 90, and we've gone through getting to, I think, through the tip of Oregon and then into Idaho, so we could head through Utah and then to Nevada. But we've never actually properly gone to anything in Eastern Washington at all. So I need to at some point just for the experience. We have some coffee. I hear it's very desert-like over there. Spent a lot of my adult life in Nevada, so I get that. 90 goes to Spokane. Yeah. Okay. So I figured we did, but it was, I mean, a blur. And we just dipped through on the interstate and get the hell out. Right. So we didn't get a chance to like get off the interstate and like drive around and explore or anything. Sorry, I'll read in a second. I just want to get this. Wow, the more layers we add, it's looking cooler and cooler. Or one-on-one, or if you want to think of it that way. I'm in Idaho. Oh, you're in Idaho. Oh, excellent. A potato seed. Yep, hubby forgot it overnight in the freezer. That's funny. That's fine. We've all forgotten stuff in the freezer before. I've been enjoying. Oh darn, I don't remember the brand. I finished them off the other night. But have some really good sugar-free chocolate striped cookies, like shortbread cookies. They're so good. I appreciate when I can get the sugar-free ones. I mean, that's all I get, but those are quite nice. They're really enjoyable to eat. So yes, yeah, they're so good. I can't remember the brand. We get them at like the Kroger backed stores. It was, I think, at Fred Meyer, which is one of the many owned and operated by Kroger brands out there or out here. They also have the sugar-free wafer cookies as well. So I usually get some of those. But man, the fudge striped cookies are so good. And weirdly, after not having a lot of sugar for years now, I don't crave it at all anymore, like completely. But every now and then, having really nice sugar-free alternative option available is so nice. Can I just say the color on this is pretty underpainting for the win. I don't do fake sugar. I have no option myself because I'm diabetic, but like it's a some fake sugars are garbage. Like the only one I've ever had a real problem with is erythritol. Erythritol, a sugar alcohol, is just beyond gross. Like it makes me sick to my stomach. Um, as having almost any amount of it does it. It's got that nasty kind of cooling menthol effect to it as well, which is really gross, and it just turns my stomach for some reason, which is so weird because I love mints, and also I want my sweet frostings to taste like mint, but it's one of the only options for powdered sugar alternatives. So sad. Man, look at that. That's super pretty. We're gonna add more red, but I'm just doing a layer at a time to see how it changes it. You use liquid stevia extract. Stevia is, I always fear stevia because it's supposed to make you have massive like stomach problems, and I don't really want that. Maybe that's if you have too much of it. I tend to use either Splenda or Equal, and I'm pretty lightweight with it. I imagine I use sugar-free creamer in my coffee from Coffee Mate, and no more than 2 packets of Equal in a full cup of coffee. Sometimes I can go without the Equal entirely if I accidentally put too much creamer because it's already sweetened. I used to do 4 or 5 packets, and I've cut back considerably. Um, and then for desserts, I mean, it's hard to find anything that works that doesn't need sugar for the structure aside from just the taste. So that's where alternative sweeteners work really well, like in custards and the sugar-free jellos, for example, like anything where it's just there for sweet and not there for structure, it works really well. It's more difficult for things like cookies. Uh, you can make it work, but we found that uh, using the Splenda brown sugar blend, which is partially brown sugar, like actual brown sugar, with Splenda, is just enough structure to make a cookie work and feel like a cookie, but it has sugar in it. So you have to have way fewer of them. The artificial ones are rat poisoning. No, so think of it this way, right? There are a lot of different types of artificial sweeteners, and they're all made differently. They're all like made up of different subcomponents that make them up. And they can't all have the same outcome, right? I mean, they could, but there's a lot of people that push how bad certain things are, and there needs to be some solid evidence for something to not work. Like, I for one don't want NutraSweet. Like, I don't want sweet and low saccharin. But that's for me because I've had it and it gives me migraines, so I don't have it. But I don't know. I would have to have real evidence that our artificial sweeteners are truly made from like proven bad ones. Splenda, for example, is made from sugar. So that's probably the closest to good that I can handle. Equal, I've heard in high doses is bad. Uh, I think for your kidneys. I don't remember. Stevia and the one you said are natural. Yeah, Splenda is. It's a desert plant, and yes, it was used by indigenous peoples. Stevia, I'm talking about still. Yeah, I worry about stevia's supposed side effects of making you sick to your stomach. I love that it's like stevia is supposed to be incredible for a sweetener for coffee because it takes hardly any of it to sweeten. So you can manage to get away with getting a lot with a little amount. We'll see. I mean, I have no choice but to use something. And until I see someone say for sure, this is bad, it's being taken off the shelves because it's a proven cancer risk or a proven blah, blah, blah. Like, I think that's my only opportunity to decide to not use something anymore is because it's gone that far. But until then, it's a lot of hearsay and so many things in the world get one little tiny scare tactic released and publicized, and then it's just in negative in the consumer's eye forever. And I believe that some stuff absolutely is bad, but I need to see evidence. Like, prove to me that it's killing people. Like, I don't know, it's so hard. Like, how do you know what is real and isn't real when it comes to people saying something is and isn't good for you? I mean, as unfortunately, sometimes it takes numbers, but I need to see like labs that have tested. It is guaranteed for damn sure bad. But then sometimes they say that and it's like, it's bad. And then in tiny little print with an asterisk on the bottom, that's like, if you have, 200 coffees worth of the sweetener a day, for 5 years, which is just an absurd amount of sweetener for anything, right? It's so hard to know what's real and what's not. I know you want to err on the side of caution sometimes, but it's so hard. Especially when it's like your only freaking option because you're diabetic and it's like, it's that or nothing. What? I should just have nothing and suffer because I did this to myself? Screw that. I know that's the opinion of some people, but hey, we'll let that dry and we'll do another layer. What have I missed? I think the key term is high doses. It's so true. Modern refining techniques, do they take the harmful components out, for example, or do they extract just the sweetened components? Saccharin, one. Yeah, saccharin is the one I can't do because it gives me migraines. Saccharin is one, and the other they had in the 70s. There were two that were discovered when someone got sprayed in the mouth with rat poisoning. My aunt was a nurse and used to have the info on it. And my dad was a type 1 diabetic. Oh, wow. Saccharin for sure is just terrible. I wouldn't, I don't want saccharin. It makes me sick anytime I have it. And erythritol, I don't like that one either. And that one has had a lot of study done on it. And it's not good. It's not good for you. It doesn't taste good. And it's in everything. They put erythritol in everything. So you have to really watch for it. It's really annoying. Research sequence eating bear has made a huge difference in my blood glucose levels. Sequence eating? Sequence eating. Is it just what it sounds like where you eat certain foods in certain orders and it helps with like your blood glucose? Like the what is it called? Oh, I'm forgetting what it's called. It's coming out really nice, by the way. What is it? I'm thinking of uh glycemic index. There we go. Like sweeteners that are low on the glycemic index, like agave is supposed to be really good. My boyfriend says that, and we have some. We use it for a lot of stuff sometimes for sweetening, and it works really well. It is sugar, but it's low glycemic index, so diabetics can digest it better. So like when I have to have sugar on something for some reason, that's what I would do. But I try to go sugar-free alternatives where I can. Honestly, I believe one of the reasons so many chemicals are in processed food is because there's so many chemical byproducts and other processes. They don't know how to get rid of them, so they just started putting them in the food. Maybe they felt that that was where the rise in nerve disorders started rising. Oh, I could believe that. I really could believe that. Divine Pathways, hi, welcome in. Yeah, they're using byproducts as fillers to make money off their trash. I don't know. But welcome in. First message. Hey, hey, what's up? My name is Bear. I'm barely watercoloring, and I really am a lot of times barely watercoloring, so forgive me. I try. Hey there, I've been lurking. I love art. Well, excellent. Welcome in. I am still a total newbie when it comes to art. I've only been doing this. I think April would be about 2 years. I started painting when I was working on a big project at work, and it was greatly stressing me out. And I needed something to make me feel good. So I was watching videos online. I came across Jenna Rainey, who is a watercolorist who does mainly florals. I really fell in love with it, and I bought some of those types of paints and brushes that she uses, and just got to practicing, and then never looked back. I'm still going, still learning, always learning. I'm not great. I'm okay. I love the name Divine. Yeah, right. Telling pathways. Oh yeah, you two are gonna have a lot to talk about. Goddess is wonderful. She's very spiritual, very in tune with the planet. See? Match made in heaven. You guys have fun. Yeah, this is looking great. The more layers of Quinn Rose I add to this underlayer, it was really nice. If you go back, or if you were already here for it, I started with a kind of a shadow area in the bottom right here, um, based off of K Arts, Krista, her suggestion to use green because a green is the opposite of a more cool or a magenta red. And that's working quite well, turning a nice kind of gray shadowy tone right here. And on the top left area, I did a highlight area of this. It is up here. It is Aussie Red Gold, which is a really pretty color. I'll show you separately what it looks like. I've got a good piece of scratch paper here. Let me grab this and you can see how beautiful Aussie Red Gold is. I love it. Do a little swatch for you. Absolutely love Aussie Red Gold. Yeah, so pretty. I'm using that. I'm using Phthalo Green as the green I use for the shadow. So I'll put some of that on here so you can see that. Whoops. Yeah. All right. And then the last color we're using is Quinacridone Rose. That's the main apple red color that I'm using. I'm nosy for a second there. Yeah, I need to dry it, but that is the idea. I'm drying this off and I'll lift it up so you guys can see it a little closer. Oh, it might not focus. Probably some drying. Man. Still fairly wet, but I'll lift it up so you can see it. Oh, so much. Wow, so many nice icons. Emotes. I love them. Gonna try to use paper 2 as a highlight. It's pretty close to Quinn Gold. Yeah, yeah. The Aussie Red Gold, it's gorgeous. I don't have Quinn Gold, but I have Quinn Deep Gold. Uh, Pretty pretty. I love warm yellows. Me too. Your little hand dryer is cool. Yeah, I got it for I forget how much, like 20 bucks or plus or minus on Amazon. It is like a Chinese brand or something, I think. I don't remember. It is with my glasses up because I'm blind. Intertech. It says Intertech. 400-watt mini heat gun. And it's got 2 levels. It's got a level 1, which is what I always use, and then level 2 is absurd. I think level 1 is like 400 degrees, and level 2 is like 800 degrees. So it's like meant for crafting, like melting plastics and drying like huge things. I'd never use that because I would burn the paint, burn the paper, burn my desk, burn my hand, burn the house down. Like I would never use that. It's too powerful. But I'll have to find it on my Amazon previous orders list and paste it. I'll have to look for that. But yeah, excuse me. Yeah, the top one, beautiful. I love how it starts like a brilliant, brilliant orange and it turns into a beautiful yellow gold color. Aussie red gold, super pretty. And phthalo green, still a little wet. And then Quinn rose on the bottom. And that's what we're using in our apple, our simulated apple. I have not done an apple before, but I saw online the idea of using underpainting. So that's what I'm practicing here, is testing using the green and the Aussie red gold above, and then the Quinn rose on top of it to layer and be able to see all the pretty colors underneath. It's coming out really nice. You got a new printer. You go. It was a little pricey or a little spendy, but so far nice. I have been looking at a printer too, but it's like it's going to be far off in my future. In a second. Sorry, I have to clear my throat. Let me drink some coffee as well. Um, the goal someday, should I do art that is worth buying and people care and there's enough of it and it's actually attractive and I can come up with not just prints, but other things. I was looking at getting one of those Epson EcoTank printers, because they may not use pigment inks. They use dye inks, but for reproducing like photographic prints and art level prints, it works incredibly well. Oh yeah, Krista, it's exactly that. Yeah, yeah, the 8550 is one of the ones I was looking at. Yeah, it works incredibly well. I love the idea of being able to have individual ink tanks that you can refill versus having like a multi cartridge. I hate those things. And for reprinting, artwork prints would burn through a multi cartridge so quickly. And I found that the Epson, there's another model I was looking at that I think is, if that's not it, that is a wide format version of the Epson printer. And it allows you to print up to A3 paper, which is one of my favorite paper sizes. So I'd be able to reproduce A3 on A3. And it says that it can print on watercolor paper as well, even up to rough textures. I'd have to get one and then practice that. But I always thought that it would be really cool to reprint everything on actual watercolor paper instead of just poster paper or whatever people might want. I think it'd be really cool. It has pigment black, a dye black, and then the rest are dye inks. Yeah, I think that's what I saw as well. So if it's meant to be like for something permanent, there's things you can put like protectant sprays and whatnot, like you would for watercolor paintings, that you can technically put on that paper and will help somewhat with light fastness. So that's definitely something to look into. But that's a goal of mine, is to want to get one of those to be able to do prints and both on watercolor paper and then maybe cheaper versions on like a good quality poster paper. Um, and then be able to make bookmarks from. I've got some bookmark samples up here. I actually have a picture. I think that I've got them on my Instagram, so feel free to check that out. But if I look at my pictures that I sent to myself, yeah, here we go. Up here and full screen. There's a full screen button. There is, right? No. Okay, well, that's fine. This is plenty. Let me show you that right there. Yeah, this is my current painting space. Recently moved from the other side of the room and this new corkboard put up, and I put these paintings on the wall. But this one on the left, on the top left up here, started as a goal to make bookmarks. And I hated the idea of cutting them apart because they were beautiful. So I think what I'm going to do with it and the other ones and any others I do in the future, like this one on the right, I will take them down. I will do full scans of them, and then I can reprint them on, if I get a nice Epson printer like that, I'll be able to go through and print them out and then cut them apart and get some laminating, a laminating machine and some laminating sheets that are built to do at least a couple of those all at once and then cut them apart. And then I'll have bookmarks. So I think it'll work really well. And you can see some of the stuff I put up on my wall as inspiration, my Star Trek art that I love, that I liked, that came out really well. And some of my practice things that I did, practicing with water. I was really happy that day with how that came out. I did lightning, I did greeting cards, I just played around. And my swatch for this entire palette that you see is up on my wall. And this sheet, my reference sheet that I've got in front of me that shows like light fastness and staining and granularity and all that. I finally last week, I saved a copy of this in my Barely Watercoloring Google account, and I shared it down below. I didn't say that yet, so you can check that out. If you look in the About Me section, or I think it's About, and you look at all of the cards that it shows under the stream, I have this sheet available for you to download. I think as a PDF to save if you don't have Excel. And you can see all of the paint information, more than I've actually got printed in front of me. I put the whole thing there. When I printed it in front of me to make it fit vertically, I hid some of the columns, like whether it was warm and cool and some additional details. But yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll probably take my swatch down and take a good picture of it or scan it at some point, and I'll put that down below as well so you can see the swatch that I'm using. Oh, there's one. All right, let me see. I was gonna see about thick paper later. The ink has a strong smell. Yeah, I bet it does. Clearly, I would try to exhaust some of it. I imagine it's not deadly, but anything is bad for you, if you have too much of it. So I definitely would probably say, yeah, probably ventilate it, blow a fan at it, sort of open window or something like that, just to be safe. Or when you're printing, print it and then walk away and come back in like half an hour later or something once it dries. Whatever you need to do. Hell yeah. Yeah, I was going to see about thick paper later. Yeah. I am super excited to know how that goes. I would probably say clearly start small. If you can like cut it down, or you have like 5x7 paper you can test on or something, or 4x6, it'll use less ink and you can try it out and see how it works. I think that'll be super cool. Oh, the paper. Wait, you can smell the paper? Wait, no, you said the ink is strong smell, but like combined. 'Cause I think I remember you saying before that I think it was you that said that you can smell paper, like the watercolor paper. I wish they gave us the option to choose dye or pigment, no matter the printer. I wish. Pigment's the one, like, I've researched the hell out of it. So pigment's the one that if you can find a printer that prints with pigment, Canon has a lot of them. Um, it lasts far longer. And the colors tend to be a bit richer as well. But dye-based tends to fade, especially in light, over a very short amount of time. So you have to keep them protected behind UV glass or whatever it might be. And even then, it'll still fade. So, yeah. And inks can be stinky. Yeah. Not super true. It usually doesn't bother me. It takes like a really fragrant thing to make me be like, woof, too much. I think I'm going to leave that one there. If I add any more, it's just going to get too dark. I think that ended up being a really beautiful red. And I love the highlights. Let's try a different set of colors. And let's see how that goes. I think I might want to use, I think I'll use the same clan red, maybe. I think I'll do Purell red. Let's do that one. So let's use Purell red. I'm going to use Quinn Deep Gold and Phthalo Blue. Let's look at that. So if I do that, that's going to be, so this is Quinn Deep Gold. I'm so glad my work upgrade worked. I mean, it usually does, but sometimes it's a pain in the ass. All right, and Purell red. I'll put that below. I'll follow the same pattern I did above. This is Pyrrole. I always say it wrong. Pyrrole red. Pyrrole red. Hyrule. Hyrule like Hyrule. All right. And then Phthalo Blue I used earlier. So it's still pretty buttery right now. I love Phthalo Blue. So pretty. Makes me think of the ocean immediately. You know, like cartoon oceans, painted oceans. Yeah, I think these will make a really interesting, maybe like a darker or kind of antique looking. It's not dry. But instead of what we did with our apple a minute ago, try using these instead. So use Phthalo Blue for the shadow and use that Quinn Deep Gold for the yellow for the highlight. And then Pyrrole red instead of Quinn Rose. Let's see how that looks. Supposed to be able to do 5,000 prints. Yeah, see the Epson was like, aside, the only other thing I saw that was supposed to be really good aside from the Epson were some of the Canon. Oh man, I forget the models, but there were Canon printers that were there are some Canon printers that use all pigment inks. Obviously the ink is more expensive. But they're an option as well, but it was far more expensive, especially for a wide format printer option. It was super expensive. So the most affordable option was going to be the Epson Incotank lines and any of those that work. I forget the model, but the one I found was a good wide format one. So that seems like a good option. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Sorry. There's one of the ones I couldn't hide. All right, let's phthalo blue this thing. So let's do a dark, with my glasses up, the dark phthalo blue bottom. Okay, let's send that out. All right, let's send it out some more. Wait. All right, more. And then pay with just clean water. All right. It's really wet right there, so it didn't spread very well. I need to go back over this a second time. No, you know what? Leave it alone. Walk away. Don't mess with it. Okay. I'm learning from my own bad mistakes. I see Pantone 300. I didn't go with an all pigment because they were over 1,000 yap, and use carriage for the ink. I looked at Canon. Yeah, I think it was one of the only options I saw that was pigment, and $1,000 was their affordable option, which was just insane. That's like phase two, right? Phase one is just get a damn printer that will print something and clarify how long it's expected to last when you sell it, and sell it cheaper than you would a high quality, like gallery type print, because that's not what you're doing in phase one, right? And then print that out and get your initial marketing out with that level, right? And then from there, if you can afford it and there's a demand for it, then take a look at getting a all pigment type printer. I think that would work really well. Not on day one, though. That's too much to ask for. All right. Let's go ahead and get that. Same deal. We'll start with a brighter amount on top. And I'll put it down. Put it down some more. All right, let me try out my brush and try to lift a little bit out. Just have a little bit of a lighter spot on there. Okay. This actually kind of looks like the beach. A little bit. Yeah, that spread out a bit, but we're going to just go with it and see what it does when I let it dry and then start adding red on top of it. I'd love to use dark blue, green, and purple for my shadows. Ooh. See, that's the first time I've ever used green for a shadow as that one. But it works perfectly because like Krista said, it's the opposite of a magenta type color. So that works great. So my thought was on the pigment, it'll be costly to print paperwork out, and I need that too. Yeah.
It'll be cheaper to scan and do four wall with a scanned pick. Most do the shadows after painting the main color, yeah. But this underpainting method that I think is actually really cool to experiment with. I saw a couple of people on Instagram doing it, and I thought, let's give it a shot. Did I even dry it? I think I just talked about it. Hit it. It's probably dry already. What? Gosh, I thought I wasn't going to go long. That's already an hour and 40 minutes. Crazy. All right. Let's look at our Pyrrole Red. I'll put some in the middle. Add some more water, sand it out a little bit. Still. All right. That's still too much. Might be. Start with that and see how it goes. Once again, let me lift my glasses up. Oops. Lifted some of that up. I realized I was going to come with it. Should have. Come with me. That's okay. We'll just say there's another shadow there. Fourth Wall is a company you sell your stuff on both handmade, and they put products on products. Oh, really? They do the main color first since watercolor can't relift or can relift. Ah, that makes sense. But that was me because I went back. I should have just kept going in the direction I was going, but it's okay. We'll fix it. And again, we're going to go over it with more of the red. I think it's going to cover a good portion of that up. I don't want to go back to it and put a lot of really obvious, like hard lines. Yeah. And again, this is a practice, so there's room to grow and learn. Let's try this off and we'll hit it with another layer. Oh. Also possible I also didn't dry it well enough. Okay. Have a little water. Let's grab another big layer of this. The glass isn't full. Also, should have realized that Jaded Blue likes to lift up really easy when it's or reactivate. All right. You're making me want to paint. I think that's the best compliment that I can ever get. Is anything I do is either good enough or bad enough that you want to fix it by doing it yourself the right way. Either way, if it makes you want to paint, that's wonderful. So thank you. Yeah, just that little bit, that last layer just adds so much to this. Yeah, that Pyro red is a good red too. It's dried off. Yeah, absolutely gorgeous. You're kind of digging in my favorite towel. Yeah, has this turned into art as well? This is left over from last week, maybe the week before that. I realized I was throwing away my paper towels way too quick, and unless I've saturated them with water, I try to keep them, let them dry, and I just use it again. Heck yeah. Oh, thank you guys. Heck yeah, I'm so glad. Always has to use a paper towel for watercolors. It is its favorite. This is from a brand called Viva, which I think used to be a cheap brand, or maybe I'm just misremembering. But it's a almost like a fabricy, a cloth style of paper towel. So like it doesn't work for some uses, but man, for watercolor painting, it's so good. Or cloth like Viva. Yeah, it's Viva. It's a Viva brand. So it works really well. I got my little spare one here because I had my mistake earlier. Put that over here. Yeah, it's coming out really nice. I might even stop there with that one. Maybe I'll do more. We'll see. But yeah, I mean, it certainly looks like a sphere. They both look three-dimensional. I think the only improvement I can really do on these immediately, well, at least when I go to Apple, is switch to a smaller brush for the finer details and try to do some lines along the surface because Apple Skin tends to have that kind of that interesting like vertical line texture inside, like going from pole to pole, the top to the bottom of the apple. They have some vertical lines, like striations through it that can be both lighter and darker than the base color of the apple. So putting some additional texture in and maybe scratching some out or whatever would add some texture to it so it doesn't look like a marble. Like these kind of look like marbles, to be fair. But yeah, I guess we could do one last experiment. So I want to do a green apple. So let's try that out. So maybe we go with, I realize I don't have any like vibrant bright greens, but the closest I've got is like sap green, which is really gorgeous. So I could probably do sap green and maybe mix it with a yellow and get away with having a really nice kind of light green pear color. Kind of see an abstract image in the paper towel. Up right, I see a light green leaf, and then there's a blue house underneath it, and some kind of magical grotto. I adore that you are seeing stuff in here that I'm not. It is gorgeous. I do love like mixtures of colors. Like I have one over here that I painted. I honestly forget when. Oh, Thomas, you might remember this because you saw this in the past, I think. But you remember this one? Just a random mixture of stuff. So really happy with that. Yeah, I weirdly don't have a bright green. Isn't that weird? Of all the things I've got, I just have to make my own. Yeah, you remember that? Yeah, I don't have a bright green. I didn't realize it when I got all of my sets and put them all together. I don't truly have a bright green. I'll have to just mix them with a bright yellow. What I can do. So let's look at sap green, which is this guy right here. I'll add some to here. Oh, okay. Scrub water is getting a little dirty. All right. Let's grab some Hansa yellow light. A nice big chunky bit of that. Just add that to my sap green, and voila, we have a lighter colored green. All right. And so, what is the opposite of green? Well, we learned earlier the opposite of green is a magenta red color. So let's just do a little bit of red. We already have the spiral red, so maybe we'll use that lightly. And we'll use some of this mix that we did of sap green and Hansa yellow light for our green. Okay. And what we're going to do for our other color, we're going to go yellow. Just have some really strong yellow color going. We can try that. Well, now you just painted some moss on the side of the house. Oh, I wasn't even looking. Phthalo with some of the lemon yellow. Oh, phthalo wood. Yeah, it's true. I think that's what you told me before. Let's look. Anyone? See, I didn't clean that enough. I made green. Jeez. Forget, you should use just like a hair of your blue and a lot of yellow. Sap has a touch of brown gold that gives it a leaf color. Does that make sense? That makes a lot of sense. How clean are we? Get in there. Yeah, that's a much nicer green. Good for a bright green. Okay, yeah, that works. And at least for the future, I think I might. Yeah, I can go with that. Okay. All right. So let's go crazy and quick because I want to finish this, today. All right. So I'm going to do red. Here, let me do it on this side. Okay. And then let's grab a tiny bit of our yellow. A very bright amount because we want that to shine through more than our shadow does. Okay. Right. Oh yeah. Do you have any type of color blindness? I do not, but in effect I do because my glasses have a blue light filter on them. So my world is slightly tinted yellow. I need to get new glasses. I've been needing to do that for a while. For obvious reasons. And that will help me be able to see things more accurately. Because I do have a slight color accuracy issue because of my glasses. Which is half the reason why I take them off sometimes when I'm painting. The other half is because I can only see, you know, nearsighted. So it's better when my glasses are on. Hey, you need some regular lens for some colors? Yeah, I totally do. It'll come. It is sheer laziness that I have not gone and got new glasses for a little bit. I need to. All right. I had to lurking, gotta do some stuff. No problem. I'm about to finish soon here in a bit. I'm gonna dry this and I'll start hitting it with our green. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I just wonder, since your sense of bright green is sap, and I think most would think of Kelly green. Yeah, I think it's just because it's what I've got. Honestly, the green that we did where we blended with yellow up here was the brightest green that I would mix I've got. At least with Daniel Smith. I do still have my other palettes. Eh. These are very similar to the greens I've already got in here. What else we have? I don't remember if there's a green in here. It's Winsor Newton. Cotton collection. Nope, sap green. Sap green in this one. I also have. Oh my gosh, gotta get my fingers under it. I got this too. this Kuretake set, it has green options in it. I could always use this. Oh, come on. I have this set as well. So it's got a lot of options in it. It's have green light, hooker green in the middle. I don't have any like true like neon-y greens. Bright green would be more of what Divine's name color is. Oh, I get you. Like a lime green. Oh, no, lime is more. Oh, I love that was held. Hooker green was held because of the word hooker. Can you believe it? Yeah, let's go ahead and get to the stuff and put everything back in my door. There we go. Yeah, let's go ahead and mix this up. Mm-hmm. I'll just have to learn how to mix regularly a nice light green color from what I have, or get one, or pre-mix something like that. I was about to fall into that trap that I always do where I get tired. I'm hitting the end of my day. I start rushing. I don't want to rush. At least not much. But I was talking. Oh wait, I was talking once about Indiana Jones. I started freaking me out because I kept thinking it was so close to riding the horse off a cliff. Wasn't that riding a horse off a cliff? Was that? Assuming you are talking about Indiana Jones, were you talking about the one where they was like riding along the tank and trying to get through the tank? The one that had his dad? Oh hell, what's the name? Oh, I know his name. Come on. Uh, really? I know his name is Bond, and hell was his name? Dude, like the original Shaken Not Stirred. Like I know his name, but it's totally escaping me. But him, he was in it. Yeah, that one. The horses and them were being so close to the cliff. Yeah, that one was crazy. That's already really pretty, but let's see if we can get some more of the green. I unfortunately ran out, so I need to make a little more. There you go. All right. It's already looking like a nice green. And also, apples have green and red in them too. I'm almost worried to add more to it. No, it wasn't Harrison Ford. Him, I know. I was talking about his dad in that one. Sean Connery. There we go. It just struck me. Sean Connery was in that one. Yeah, that's too great. More yellow. All right. Let's add some more to this. I hate finding out how bad off Sean Connery is right now. He is not in the best of health. Gosh, did you hear Chuck Norris died? I saw that at work the other day. It's crazy. Might have put this layer on too thick. Also, green might not have been the best opposite color for this. Or not green, get red. That was me. Okay. Tired, and then again experimenting, so I'm not hurt. Any mistakes? Mistakes are learning experiences. Oh, it's still pretty cool looking. All right. I think that's enough. I can practice more with these bottom ones, and then we can actually make some apples. I think out of the colors, though, clearly, I very much like these two red ones. I'm quite happy with these. I'm almost happier with this one. This one's nice. It's got like a really deep shadow on it, but I need to be more consistent about getting the arc correct. I like them both. I like both. Both seem like genuine apples to me. Honestly, this one does too. I still like how this one came out. It's still wet, but I do like that one. And then this one just looks like a planet because I was just experimenting doing it with one color basically. Underpainting. Who knew? Shadowy underpainting. Though be mindful because unless you let it dry completely and you're consistent about going from your brighter color down to your darker color, don't lift from this, go back to your brighter color no, it's just not good. Because some of this comes up. But still, I mean, I like how they came out. At least as spheres. They have some depth to them. I would be tricked and fooled into believing that those were real 3D objects. And now I want to see what it's going to look like when I actually try to do an apple shape. It all turned out, you can see the difference with naturals and secondary colors. Yeah. Yeah, you really can. It's a huge difference. It's so cool. I very much like that. Well, I'm happy to do more. Maybe on Thursday, that's what we'll do. We'll revisit and we'll pick our favorite color combo that we did and try to do an actual apple, or at least an apple-like object. I have this ugly sketch of the Apple logo that maybe we can at least do an in-between a real apple and a sphere. We can color one of these, right? And then we'll get another sheet of paper and we can really try to do an actual apple shape. Like I'll find a good image of one and I'll sketch an outline of one gently. And then we'll try to actually do an apple next time. Yeah. And then we'll try to get the little striations like I was talking about so we can see texture in there. Maybe we'll practice that on this one. And then once we're happy with it, we'll do a real apple. Hell yeah. We're going to do it. Oh, wow. Sean Connery died a few years ago. Where was I? What rock was I under? Did I remember that? Did he really? Sean Connery. Oh, wow. 2020. Well, I have forgotten that completely. Who knew? October 31st. 2020. He was 90 years old. Beat out Chuck Norris. All right. Hope you get extra sleep and get a few good days. Heck yeah. Much love. Oh, thank you. You too, Krista. Absolutely. Enjoy your frozen jello. My other half is working on A Fu Yo from scratch today in the walk. So I'm excited for that. He was a great actor and he was a great person as far as I'm aware. I loved everything he was in. I don't think there was a single thing Sean Connery was in that was garbage. What a genuine soul. Let me zoom back out. I forgot I am zoomed in. There we go. The whole canvas. And we can take a look at our paper towel art. Maybe that'll be a new thing in the future. We'll save our paper towel art. All right. Heck yeah. Guys, have an absolute great rest of your day. I hope you all have a wonderful week. I will see y'all back here on Thursday. We'll do more Appley things. Yeah. That's it. My name is Bear. I was barely watercoloring, but better than I did on Thursday. That was just gaming, which apparently doesn't go over very well. So I will paint it up from now on, or I won't be here if I feel like garbage. Most of the time I'll be here. All right, guys, have a great day. I'll see you all on Thursday. I hope you all have a great week. All right, guys, I'll see you later. Bye. Bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye.